This lesson I'm going to be covering the Dorian mode, and specifically the A Dorian mode, and how you can alter the basic A minor box shaped pentatonic scale and incorporate some of the Dorian notes in there. So to begin with, I like to think of modes. A lot of people don't really understand what modes are, and the simple explanation that people are commonly taught is if you take a major scale. In this case, we're going to take, say, a G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And to derive the A Dorian mode from that, it would start on the second scale degree, in this case, G being 1, A being 2, and going from that all the way up to the next A. So still playing the notes in a G major scale. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. And that gives you the A minor Dorian. Now that's a little confusing, I think, for a lot of people when they first get introduced to modes, because you're comparing, in this case, a minor mode with a major scale, and really I don't ever think of an A Dorian being at all really related to G major, other than in the back of my mind I know I can derive an A Dorian from G major, but I like to think of A Dorian as being related to just an alternate version of an A minor scale. So in order to introduce that concept to you, I'm going to cover what an A natural minor scale is. So an A natural minor scale has the note A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And I'm playing it right here, starting on just these notes right here. The 5th fret on the low E string, 7th fret, 8th fret, then on the A string, 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, and then on the D, the 5th fret and the 7th fret. So these 7 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then the 8th being the octave. That gives you an A natural minor scale. And then we take out 2 notes of that to derive the first part of an A pentatonic scale. Pentatonic meaning 5 means it only has 5 notes in the scale, as opposed to the full natural minor scale having 7 notes. So the notes that we take out to get the pentatonic are the second scale degree, in this case it being a B, A being 1, B being 2, and the 6th scale degree, in this case it's a flat 6, which is an F note. So if you take out this, it would be the 7th fret on the low E, and you take out the 8th fret on the A string, so natural minor scale, take out those 2 notes, and you get this. 5th fret on the low E, skip the 7th fret, go right to the 8th fret, 5th fret on the A, 7th fret, skip the 8th fret, and go up to the 5th fret on the D, 7th fret on the D, and then you have your A pentatonic, A minor pentatonic. Now of course it's the same notes up in the top part of the shape here. That's your A note. And if you were to continue up the natural minor scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, that's your natural minor. We're going to take out that B and that F note, and we're going to get the pentatonic scale. A, skip the B, C, D, E, skip the F, G, A, C. Now I think it's important to cover what a natural minor scale is and understand how you get your basic major and minor scale before getting into something a little bit more advanced like modes, and that's because I tend to relate most of the modes back to either a major scale or a minor scale, like you'll see here with the Dorian. So we've covered what the natural minor scale is in the key of A. And if you want to kind of get a feel for the sound of that scale, to me it's a bit darker relative to the Dorian. more sad sounding, you could say. And one of the key features of a natural minor scale is that it has this F note in it, as well as the F chord. So you'll hear a lot of this sort of stuff. So that F chord really gives away the sound of the natural minor, as well as going to a minor 4 chord. In this case, the 4 in the key of A minor is a D note, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a D minor chord, an A minor, and a D minor, and an F major. Whenever a song, let's say it's in the key of A for this example, whenever a song has an A minor as well as a D minor chord in it and an F major chord, there's a good chance, if it's all staying within the basic scale and it's not using any outside notes, that it's going to be a natural minor. Now let's look at this, how this compares with a Dorian scale. And the unique thing about a Dorian is it's really all the same notes. A Dorian is all the same notes as an A natural minor except for one, and that is the 6th scale degree. Instead of being an F, in this case it would be a flat 6 relative to A, it's an F sharp. So the 6th scale degree is raised up a half step. So if you count it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for a natural minor, we're going to take that and raise it up a half step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And in relation to A, it's actually 1, 2, a flat 3, 4, 5, natural minor, flat 6, flat 7, 1. With the Dorian, it's 5, natural 6, flat 7, 1. And this is assuming you have a little bit of understanding about music theory and you know how to derive the basic scales and building scale degrees. So we can hear that really the only difference between a natural minor and a Dorian is that F versus an F sharp in the key of A. So this gives it a whole different flavor, and it's much more commonly used for things that are slightly more bright sounding, things like funk music. A lot of classic rock uses a Dorian scale. And the sort of dead giveaway of it is if instead of going to an F natural in the key of A, they use some sort of F sharp. They might also use a D major chord. So an A minor to a D major. They may also do a D over F sharp. So if you think of something like what you have there is an A to an F sharp to G. That F sharp G in the key of A really gives away that Dorian sort of sound. Also funk music. So what you see there is something like in Brick House, an A minor chord. Here's just the top notes. 5th fret on the G, B, and high E, to like a C major chord, to a D major chord. So if you hear a song, it's in the key of A minor, but instead of playing a D minor chord, they play a D major chord. Or you notice it goes to F sharp instead of F natural. You can tell that that's not just your typical A minor scale. That's actually an A Dorian. It's just a variation of an A minor. And I think that's a lot easier to think of it as just a slight modification of your natural minor scale, as opposed to trying to derive a mode based off of the relative major scale. And to put this into perspective, let's say you take another key. I'm going to say D Dorian in this instant. So a D natural minor scale, the 6, if we count down, here's the 1, a natural 7, a flat 7, which is what we would find in the minor scale. Then we either go to the natural 6 or the flat 6. So natural minor would go to that flat 6. So anytime you hear a song, a lot of times they do walk downs and stuff like that. That's that natural minor sound. But if it does something more like this, it's got a slightly brighter sound. You now understand that that's using a Dorian scale. So now that gives you a little bit of perspective in your ears in terms of how the different scales sound in comparison to one another, let's look at an easy way that you can start incorporating this into your lead playing right away. So what I do is I take the basic box pentatonic shape, and we're going to refer to this as all relative to A minor. So taking the A minor pentatonic shape, we want to give it a bit more of a Dorian flavor now. All we need to do is add in that natural 6. And in this case, in the key of A minor, we said that that was an F sharp note. Once again, a natural minor would be an F natural note. An A Dorian minor would be an F sharp. So let's look and find where these F sharp notes are within this box shape. We have the A, a C note, a D note, an E note. Now at this point we have two options. We can either come up here and grab an F sharp on the 9th fret of the A and then continue back up, or we can come down here and grab the F sharp on the 4th fret of the D string. Now I personally like coming down here and grabbing it, but you can do whatever feels comfortable. Then as we continue up, the 7th fret on the D, to the C, to the D, to the E. Now coming up here, we can find F natural on the 6th fret and our F sharp on the 7th fret of the B. So we can grab that note, and that's going to give us our F sharp, our Dorian sound, to the G, A, and C. Now, if you really want to just mess around with getting a feel for that Dorian type of vibe, one thing you can do is just take 3 notes here, 3 or 4 notes. I like to take the root note, the A, the G here, which is 7th fret on the D, 5th fret on the D, and then the 4th fret. And you can do something funky like this. That's going up to the C note, which is the 5th fret of the G. So that's just improvising around those notes. And doing something like that will help give you a feel for just the sound of the Dorian scale. And then you can start incorporating some of the other notes. And then it's a little bit easier when it comes to soloing in this particular shape is to hit that F sharp up high. And you hear this pretty commonly. Let's say you're taking bending this up a half step, the F sharp up to the G is a very common move if you're going to be soloing in the A minor shape. So once again, that's just basically isolating a couple notes here. We have the 5th fret on the high E, 8th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret. Doing some bends and release from the 7th fret up a half step. So messing around with that will spice it up. So if we compare playing just a typical A minor licks, A minor pentatonic, and then we throw in some F sharp notes in there. You can see it spices it up a little bit, adds a little bit more color to it, and gives it a slightly brighter sound than the typical A minor pentatonic.